Peace and good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the File Playland. As always, I'm your file player. Actually, it's the evening here. But I wanted to make this video regarding a lot of the things that seem as if they're facts running around on YouTube are a bunch of BS. And it's like a lot of the stuff that's perpetuated as facts, like on YouTube, bunch of BS by a lot of these content creators. And it just reeks of desperation because I see that as sort of a new trend or something that's happening recently or something that's happened a lot in the last few weeks. And it's funny to see. But anyway, I'll get to some examples. I'm not gonna blow up any content creators. I know who they are, but I'm not gonna, you know, um, I don't want to put them out there like that. But we're getting instances of, for instance, Errol Spence saying that the fight wasn't gonna be on pay per view recently. When you read the tweet, which I actually read the tweet today, and I don't, I think I do have Twitter actually, but I don't use it like that. But I read the tweet and it said nothing of the sort. I mean, if you read 2 lines or 3 lines of the tweet, you could read that somebody was met that Errol Spence was advertising that Frank guy that he's promoting, and then somebody else responded with, "I'm not gonna pay for your pay per view or for the pay per view." I'm paraphrasing, but then Errol Spence responded back by you like something along the lines of, "You don't pay for regular TV." Now, that wasn't the point in which Errol was deciding whether or not, whether to or whether not like to have this pay per view for Ugis. That wasn't what set him one direction or the other. So I don't know how whoever first made that rumor up, though I have a suspicion as to 2 people that I think may have either concocted the rumor or maybe came out with a plan amongst themselves, and one was going to come out with it first and the other was going to follow it up shortly thereafter. But I have no idea how either one of those cats that I think were behind the rumor of Errol Spence fighting on free TV. I don't know how the goal that it takes to even invent something like that. But again, that to me, like, that's a indication of what these channels feel about you. These channels feel that you're an idiot, straight up. And you know what's funny too? I mean, go to your favorite call-in shows for a lot of these boxing content creators when they do have the ability to call in. Not all of them. I mean, I know Mark Nash has a call-in line, and Mark Nash is a pretty straight-up guy from and I just came on to Mark Nash, period, and I hope you guys do subscribe to him. But listen to these other call-in lines, and they pretty much spout off a lot of these things that these channels have invented as facts. You know, and we could go on little instances, and we could even go on bigger instances. But I know lately, there were 2 instances in which I believe channels created things out of the thin air. But you have people here on YouTube that watch YouTube boxings that I don't consider casuals. I think that people that listen to YouTube boxing are more along the lines of hardcores, not the occasional asshole that comes to comment some race baity shit, or some racist stuff. Not those people. Those people aren't hardcore, but people who watch 20 minutes a day of YouTube boxing content, to me, are hardcores because they're vested into the sport, or near hardcores more than they are casuals. I'll put it like that. But in spite of the fact that I believe that these people who listen to YouTube boxing are hardcores, a lot of these same people will regurgitate or repeat information that is wrong. They don't know it's wrong, but I think that they feel that since their favorite content creator may have said it, and that these content creators aren't outright dumb or solely sensationalist, a lot of these people that may be the listeners of these channels may spout these things off or repeat them as if they're facts. And now it has me wondering, like, in hindsight, like, what are these other things that may have slipped by me? Being that I'm not involved in Twitter like that and don't really care for Instagram like that. Like, I look at Instagram to look at stuff that's in flea markets. I look at Twitter like to look at stuff that has to do with like silver and newsworthy stuff, like not boxing stuff. In fact, I may have like one or two channels like on my Twitter. I probably have like maybe 15 people total on my Twitter, and it all has to do with baseball stuff or silver, gold, like stuff like that, or newsy stuff. But you know, having said that, I mean, like I think a lot of stuff slips by like a person like me, or maybe a person like you that can't be online all the time and isn't on Twitter all the time and isn't waiting for one of these boxers to tie their shoes like and post it on a social media. So a lot of these people may give the impression that a lot of these things happen on Twitter, on Instagram, that don't really happen. I think a lot of these times that these content creators just invent it from thin air. I think they did that with this Errol Spence thing, thinking that people may get a pity party for God forbid Errol Spence having a fight on free TV. Oh God, like so I don't even know what the hell like they thought of as far as putting that rumor out there. And another rumor that happened recently that I can't recollect, but I don't even know what their intentions are. I mean, like, do I think that they're trying to manipulate like stuff that happens here on YouTube? Absolutely. I definitely think they're doing that. I think they would do anything in their power to try, and especially when it comes to Errol Spence, somebody who they've dug their heels in, they've planted cement into the ground. They're not moving from the position of supporting Errol Spence no matter what he does. Errol Spence could kill twin babies tomorrow, screw a couple women while he knew he had STDs, and they're going to say that the twins deserve it and the women should be happy because they got a chance to lay down with the man. It is what it is with these guys. Like, they're big time liars, and and every time I see an instance like that, I mean, I don't think that happens that often, but I think maybe some of these content creators, being that Errol Spence is looking like a straight bitch lately, that they've sunk so low as to create content out of thin air, to create dialogue that Errol Spence never said, period. And it just goes to show you, if they're willing to do that, like, do you think that they're willing to be critical of Errol Spence if they see him deviating from a fight with Bud Crawford? Absolutely not. It's just pathetic, the world that we live in at this current juncture. And it's also disrespectful for these people to disrespect you in that fashion. I mean, I feel violated. I really don't. But I just can't stand when people try to get one by me like that. Like, I mean, like, maybe I should have been a lot more vigilant before. I mean, will the world stop because I was deceived in the past? No. I mean, but it is going to give me a lot more vigor that when I do see some deception in the air, that I'm going to just start calling cats out on it. I mean, and come here and gossip to you guys about it. Well, let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And if you could, I mean, like, leave some comments or like these videos. But what say you? Do you think that like these content creators create stories on their own? I mean, and if you do you think that they do it in defense of a certain boxer? I think so. I mean, and if that's the case, it's pathetic. There's no way you could explain that one away to me. A lot of this stuff, and I'm getting sick of people's explanations to me, like with many things, like in relation to the sport. Like a lot of times, like a lot of people's explanations have, if per se, like they don't want to throw a fighter out there when fighter A, who they don't want to throw out there, does something evasive of another fighter, like where they don't want to show that they're ducking when they're ducking another fighter, they'll just say, "Oh, well, these two fighters got to get together." Like if Errol Spence does something that's real obvious, like where he's rushing into an Ugas fight, they'll report it as, "Oh, well, that's the fight these fans won, and Bud Crawford and Errol Spence got to get together and make this fight happen." They'll report it like that when Errol Spence is fronting. If they think that Bud Crawford had any sort of negative press, they'll be all over that shit. They'll run with that shit for months. They'll add on to it. Say the man's a slave. They'll like that's how they get down. So I mean, I gotta take things with a grain of salt now, and I gotta be more of a suspicious observer when it comes to the content that's being put out there when YouTube boxing. But what say you? I mean, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I may go live later, but I think I gotta watch National Lampoons with my family this evening. But I hope you guys, if I don't come on here, enjoy the rest of your evening. With that, I'm out. Much love.